This podcast contains discussion around depression and suicide. If you're experiencing feelings of sadness, depression, or thoughts of self-harm, stop and seek help now. There is someone waiting to talk to you right now on Lifeline's crisis hotline, 13 11 14, or call 000.
This podcast may also contain unintentional coarse language and political incorrectness.
Welcome to episode 5 of season 3 of You Wouldn't Be Dead for Quids. In this series, we're taking a closer look at the work of Dr. Kelly Turner and her book, Radical Remission, Surviving Cancer Against All Odds, with Graham Cotter, who is not only a Schitt's Creek tour guide, but a Radical Remission coach, who has studied with Kelly Turner's Radical Remission project and joins a team of dedicated coaches who are assisting people to put these 10 factors into practice. I'm Ruth Geis, and this is Graham Cotter. How are you doing, Graham?
Wouldn't be dead for quids, Ruth.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I really love about you, Graham, is your positive attitude. And that's what we're covering off today. Positive emotions and releasing suppressed emotions. So as a rapid transformational therapist, as well as a radical remission coach, this is right in your wheelhouse, Graham. A lot of people might say, well, you can't always be happy.
Well, that's very true, Ruth. But by the same token...
it's kind of a bit hard to focus on positive emotions when you've just been told you've got cancer.
Well, that's exactly right. But by the same token, it's, one of the things that I do profess to be such a powerful tool in this space is meditation and having a mindset that's focused and linked, that's anchored in the present. Part of my meditation every day is to remind myself of not only my physical wellness but also the abundance that surrounds me. And when you're in a good mental and emotional space, things like a cancer diagnosis will rock you, but it won't knock you. Shit's going to happen, but it's when we're in that good mental and emotional space that it might knock you off course for a bit, but you pick yourself up pretty quickly. It's when you're not in that good positive emotional space that it really does knock you for six. That can lead off into things like depression and those sorts of things. So that's why I see that link between these 10 factors and the cancer space links directly with the depression and the suicide space. And it's been documented that it's proven fact that if you have cancer and depression, then your life expectancy is halved compared to someone, an individual, and that's just the reality of it. But when you have a positive mindset, you're not in that depressed state, and you're better able, and positive emotional state of mind is just feeling happy. And sometimes the lady that Marissa Peer, who developed the rapid transformational therapy, she's just written a book and tell yourself better lies.
Okay. So I mean, what are the positive emotions? So happiness, contentment, joy, peace.
Yeah, just did you say gratitude?
I did not.
Yeah.
Gratitude. So those kind of positive emotions, love.
Yeah. Part of my morning meditation is to remind myself that the abundance that surrounds me. I've got that grouped into time, abundance of time. The most time's the most precious element of the universe is time, and then energy, physical, mental, and emotional energy. I've got abundance of that, or abundance of love. The people that love me, the people that I love, and the things that I love to do. And when you're in that space, I remind myself that I have an abundance of money. To say, if it's there in abundance, you believe it to be there in abundance, you'll find it is there in abundance. And also the physical and mental, emotional wellness. I have that in abundance. In my case, I remind myself every day that how lucky I am. And I actually let that positive healing energy actually flow through every part of my body as I...
So you use meditation to help you, achieve those positive emotions. I mean, is it as simple as putting a smile on your face when you don't feel like it? So from a radical remission perspective, because clearly they've said it's one of the 10 factors.
Yeah.
It's one of the 10 factors that everyone who went into remission had that aspect. They had the positive emotions. But the question is, how did they achieve them?
Any number of ways, Ruth. Like me to say, it's just watch a funny video, sort of laugh.
Watch a cat video.
Watch a cat video if you like cats.
Do love a good cat video, Gray.
Okay.
I do. Actually, I don't know how you access it. Our television has certain channels on it, and one of them is the Pet Collective. And so it is 24 hours of cats, dogs, otters, ferrets, parrots living their lives. And so literally you can just sit there for 10 minutes with a smile on your face watching these puppies and kittens and various things happen. So even things like that, I guess, so you can look to the outside.
Yeah, and being with people that are happy and that make you happy as well, like I mean to say, and doing things that make you, increase that positive emotion. It's not confined to one specific thing. It's any number of things that or anything that sort of makes you feel good about you.
I've heard you describe it as a muscle.
It is. It's like anything, like me to say. What I say, the most important muscle in our body is the one between our ears, and we need to exercise that. And the way to exercise that is through meditation. And the emotional muscle, the positive emotional muscle, is very much about exercising that. Just you might be feeling crap, but by the same token, if you made a conscious effort to to feel that positive emotion, because those positive emotions also produce the hormones that help fight the cancer. So
help with the boosting the immune system. Yeah. I mean, I look at it and go, well, no one can be happy 24 hours a day. If you're not feeling like being happy, how long should you aim at being happy or having a positive emotion?
Well, it should.
Is there a time limit?
No, there's not. Just only the rest of your life. So, having a positive emotion and yourself, and so when you're in that positive, happy space, you feel good. We are put on this earth to do, to be exactly that, to feel good about who we are, where we are, and what we do. So it's a basic for me. That's my interpretation. Is that that's as we should be.
So it's a muscle, and it's use it or lose it. So every day, it's worth taking that time to focus on those positive emotions.
That's exactly right. Like there's things, like I say to people, there's the number of people in our world today that, spend their whole day looking for reasons to be offended. Well, you look hard enough, you're going to find a lot of them. So, it's your mindset. And
so the opposite can be true.
Oh, definitely, like I mean to say, and it has to be true because it impacts directly on your health or improving your health.
Okay, so positive emotions is one of those common factors. But the other one with regards to emotions is releasing suppressed emotions. What can you tell us there?
This is one of an area where I do, I do have a strong connection in this journey that I've been on, Ruth.
Because that's where rapid transformational therapy really comes into its own.
Well, it does because a lot of our physical well-being is directly related to our past experiences. What the rapid transformational therapy does is actually goes back because we're in a state of hypnosis from the period of conception basically to 7, and that's when it's in that period of time where we're programmed emotionally as to how we respond. In my era, we're told as kids should be seen and not heard, and things like that. So, and sometimes, it goes a lot further than that. How we were brought up as children is very much a part of who we are today. A lot of those, emotions, those unhealthy emotions, are a direct result of that programming that was put in place in that period from conception to 7. And if that programming is flawed, then that flawed programming stays with us. And
so that with suppression, I guess one of the things that I'm thinking of, not that I was personally told but I think a lot of people would be, and potentially more so boys, would be not to cry.
yeah,
So it's like big boys don't cry, or big girls don't cry, big boys don't cry. You learn then, I guess, as a very young person to suppress that. When you feel like crying, you suppress it.
yeah. Oh, definitely the case, Ruth. Blokes, men, in particular, it's looked as a weakness. But, at the end of the day, we're human. And one of the things that we say as part of that rapid transformational therapy process is that emotions that can't be shed in tears will cause other organs to weep.
Because when you suppress something, it doesn't mean it's gone. It means you've pushed it down, but it's still there. Yeah. Having to be able to release it from your system completely. Well, I've experienced it in terms of being able to release particular emotions about or particular relationships, etc. Instead of suppressing them, getting rid of them, being able to just clear them, move them out, release them.
Yeah, some of the stories in Dr. Kelly's book in relation to this, some people went to goodness knows, amazing lengths to get rid of that suppressed emotion, and the radical transformational therapy is a means of actually going back and have a look at where those suppressed emotions are, and normally we as individuals we know where they are. But when you look at them as you are today, and being able to say, well, that's not me. I'm not 6. I'm not 4. And saying, basically, but you got to reprogram that, and that's part of the rapid transformational therapy thing is to actually to do a recording and actually 21 days. You must listen to that for 21 days because you got to you not only release it, but you got to make sure it's gone.
Yeah. Okay, because I must admit, I think we're all pretty good at suppressing emotions, but it's easy to go, no, I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel it anymore. But then a couple of years later, it'll come back and smack you in the face.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, because it's ingrained into you, and it's as well as programmed into that subconscious mind, which is amazing. So we have all the science and all the rest of it that we have in our world today still hasn't fully grasped just the full extent of what a powerful muscle that is between our ears.
And the important thing, I think, to realise is you're not the only one. I think when you suppress emotions, you think you're the only one who feels that. But the problem is we're all suppressing emotions. So we all go through it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's something that we become programmed to, and realising that it's okay and it's okay to release them. But most certainly, I could not do that anywhere near as quickly or as well by myself as I could with it, say, being able to talk to someone, being able to work through it, like as a rapid transformational therapist. It's a much easier process.
Well,
I didn't know. So, for instance, when I did my rapid transformational therapy session, I didn't know that I had suppressed emotion. I thought I was pretty much fine, thank you very much, until some buttons got pressed and all of a sudden emotions came. I'm like, oh, I am still holding on to that. Because it's easy as one person to go, no, I'm fine. No, not holding on to anything. And if you think that's the case, then you should have a rapid transformational therapy session just to double check that you don't have any suppressed emotions, because you will be surprised.
Yeah, and that's the reality of it. And we do all have suppressed emotions, and being able to recognise them and letting them go is a critical part of the healing journey. The physical healing journey. Those suppressed emotions and physical wellness are definitely linked.
I would definitely highly recommend going along to one of Graham's information sessions for Radical Remission and learning more about training those positive emotions, using that, that positive emotion muscle, but also how to release those suppressed emotions. Now, in the final episode in this series, we're going to cover the last two of the common factors of radical remission survivors. You can listen to them now in episode 6.
Yes, Ruth. Well, episode 6, we were looking at social support and spirituality. So
now this is going to be interesting because, I can remember when my father had throat cancer. If you said to him, you need social support, he would have told you very clearly that he didn't need any of that bullshit. Very clearly.
That's not the case, Ruth, and it really is so important. That the spirituality is not a religious thing. It's an individual connection to a higher being that that we all have, and majority recognise as being the case.
And as we know, it's one of the 10 factors of radical remission, so it can be life-saving, life-changing stuff. You have been listening to Radical Remission coach Graham Cotter, and we will catch you in episode 6. In the meantime,
remember, our minds respond to the words we say and the pictures we make. Change the words, change the pictures, change your life.